They were told to pack up and go. No second chances, no backroom deals. In 2025, 7 nations faced a political earthquake as the Trump administration abruptly pulled legal protections and ordered thousands of their citizens out of the United States. But what triggered this aggressive pivot? Was it revenge, strategy, or something far more calculated? Stay with us, because what you're about to hear will challenge everything you thought you understood about immigration policy in America, and by the end, you'll see why millions are calling this Trump's most controversial move yet. Let's dive in. Number 7. When a nation that once offered protection suddenly turns its back, the fallout is personal and immediate. In 2025, over 14,000 Afghans lost temporary protected status as the US quietly ended support for their stay. These weren't just immigrants. Many had directly assisted US forces and missions during wartime. And just like that, they are in legal limbo. Resettlement programs, defunded. Legal pathways, gone. Promises made after Kabul's fall, forgotten. Interpreters, aid workers, even children raised under the American flag, now face separation, detention, or deportation. Was this a national security shift, or just a harsh political message? For the thousands left in uncertainty, the consequences are devastating. Number 6. What happens when America shuts its doors on those still running from danger? In June 2025, the US terminated TPS for nearly 8,000 Cameroonians. Despite ongoing violence and oppression in their home country, immigration courts are now overwhelmed, and fear is spreading across communities. Some have lived here over a decade. They work as nurses, pastors, drivers. They built lives, only to see them ripped apart overnight. Take Emil, a father of 2 who escaped political torture in 2016. He owns a business, pays taxes, and follows every rule. Now he may be forced back to the very regime he fled. Advocacy groups call it betrayal. Civil rights lawsuits are stacking up. Even police departments warn that fear is breaking trust within immigrant communities. And the question remains, if Cameroon isn't safe, why pretend it is? Number 5. One of the world's most unstable countries was suddenly declared safe enough for return by decree. In April 2025, the Trump administration revoked all visa privileges and protections for South Sudanese nationals, impacting up to 6,000 people. No warning, no transition, just a cold shutdown. This is a country still plagued by armed conflict, famine, and mass displacement. UN data shows over 75% of its population needs humanitarian aid. Yet the US moved ahead, check-ins, without translators or legal counsel. People like Nayamal, a nurse and mother living in Omaha, are now facing forced separation from their children and deportation to a war zone. Even bipartisan lawmakers have raised the alarm. Is this about border control or abandoning the very people America once pledged to protect? Number 4. In 2025, the US ordered more than 500,000 Haitians to prepare for removal, effectively shutting down one of the largest humanitarian entry programs in modern history. These individuals came legally under Biden-era parole, but now their protection ends. No residency, no renewal, just a deadline. This comes despite the State Department acknowledging Haiti's deep instability, where gangs control over 70% of Port-au-Prince. Deportees face violence, extortion, even disappearance upon return. Hospitals are looted, schools bombed, Human rights groups report multiple missing persons among recent deportees. So why the mass expulsion? Legal communities are scrambling, churches are mobilizing, families are terrified. And all of this is happening while the US continues to send military aid to Haiti to combat the very dangers it claims no longer exist. Number 3. When people flee dictatorship and enter through legal doors, they don't expect the ground to vanish beneath them. But that's exactly what happened to over 120,000 Nicaraguans in 2025. Their parole status, granted legally under the Biden administration, was revoked overnight. Daniel Ortega's regime still jails priests, shuts down news outlets, and strips dissidents of citizenship. Yet, the US deemed Nicaragua stable enough for deportation. Courts are buried under emergency filings. People who followed the law now face exile, broken families, and no time to plan. Even business owners, students, and workers with spotless records now fear detainment. Employers warn of economic fallout. Advocates predict a humanitarian crisis. But to the administration, it's just enforcement. To those affected, it's a collapse of everything they trusted. Number 2. What happens when legal status has...
Number 1.
American-born children now face losing their parents to deportation. Others may be sent to a country where even their relatives have vanished. The reality? Those returning to Venezuela are often labeled enemies. Some are interrogated. Others simply disappear. Trust in the system is gone. Legal entry no longer equals legal security. And the message is clear. Even if you follow the rules can change. So what does all of this mean? It means the United States, long seen as a beacon of hope, is at a crossroads. These 7 sweeping deportation orders show a clear shift. From humanitarian refuge to cold legal enforcement. For some, it's policy. For others, it's survival. The cost isn't just legal, it's human. Nurses, students, business owners, pastors, people who obeyed the law are now being cast out like criminals. And if this can happen to them, who's next? America's global image is being rewritten, not by war or diplomacy, but by silence and deportation notices. The message to migrants is this: protection is temporary, safety is conditional, and belonging is never guaranteed.